What do you say to a partner who cheated on you? In this video, you'll discover some tools for how to heal from an affair and what you should say when you find out that your partner has deceived you. Hi, it's Gabrielle, and for over 12 years, I've been a licensed professional counselor and relationship expert in private practice in Boulder, Colorado. And my practice is grounded in the science of what makes relationships work. I'm going to share with you the 3 top things that partners want to know when they've been the victim of an affair. I'm also going to give you 2 concrete tips that you can use right away so you don't get overwhelmed in the aftermath of an affair. Let's dive in. Okay, so you found out that your partner had an affair and suddenly your world has been turned upside down. You feel blindsided, betrayed, and traumatized, and you're wondering, how do I talk to my partner? A part of you may have a lot of questions you want to ask them, but another part of you may be feeling afraid of finding out the answers. You may be overcome with rage, panic, grief, and sadness all at once. You may want to express all of these feelings to your partner, but you wonder if you should, what you should say and not say. The whirlwind of thoughts and emotions you're experiencing leaves you feeling hysterical and confused and unsure about what to do. Let me start with an important caveat here. If your partner has cheated on you, no one would blame you for ending your relationship the second you find out. But if you and your partner both want to see if it's possible to make your relationship work in the aftermath of a betrayal, it's important that you understand something about the process of affair recovery. The process of recovering from an affair can be long and difficult, often requiring the assistance of a trained mental health professional who specializes in affair recovery, who can work with you together as a couple. But today I want to give you some concrete information about how to start the conversation with your partner that can help orient you in the devastating aftermath of betrayal. The recovery process involves natural stages that couples go through. What the victim of the betrayal may want and need to say to their offending partner will often change and evolve as the couple progresses through these stages. Let's take a closer look at the stages of affair recovery and how these affect what you might say to a partner who cheated. In the first stage, the victim of the betrayal is often traumatized by the discovery or disclosure of their partner's infidelity. In fact, a full 70% of victims of marital betrayal meet the full-blown criteria for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. If you've been the victim of an affair, your head is swimming as you try to piece together what happened. What did your partner actually do? How could you not have known this was going on? What does this mean about your marriage? What else are they hiding from you? Has your entire life together been a lie? It can be difficult to sift through the overwhelming thoughts and feelings you're experiencing once an affair comes to light. But I've found that the things victims wish to say to their offending partners in the early stages of the aftermath of an affair generally fall into one of 3 categories. The first category is feelings. You want to share your strong feelings of rage, panic, grief, and sadness, even hatred toward your partner. The second category is facts. You want to get your questions answered about the facts of what happened. Who, what, where, when, and how. The third category is meaning. You want to know the meaning of what happened, like, why did they do this? But should you say what's on your mind, share your feelings, ask your questions, or keep it all to yourself? Here's an important thing to keep in mind when it comes to talking to your partner after they've had an affair. The bottom line is it's up to you, the victim, and not your partner, to decide how you want to go about it, what you want to say and ask. Take this advice. Short of being physically violent toward your partner, there should not be any limitations whatsoever on the way you express yourself to your partner after an affair or what questions you ask them. There's an important reason for this. When you've been betrayed, you've been robbed of your power. Part of the healing process involves being able to reclaim that power. In order to do so, you need to be in control of the process of recovery. That means you should get to decide what you and your partner talk about regarding the affair and be able to express your full range of emotions to your partner. You should also get to decide things like how much time the two of you spend together, if any, whether you want your partner to move out, and of course, whether you want to stay in the relationship at all. In other words, if you're the victim of an affair, your partner needs to be willing to give you all of the power while the two of you are going through the healing process. For some time, you shouldn't be expected to be nice to your partner, and you don't have to be coherent. You need to be given free rein to express yourself as you see fit. When you've been betrayed, no one would blame you for ending your relationship. But here's a mistake that I see couples make very often. If your partner is unable or unwilling to accept that you, the victim, hold all the cards and that they've made a major mistake, if they insist on placing limitations on what you say or how you feel toward them, this should definitely be grounds for you to end the relationship. Now let's say that your partner is showing the appropriate level of remorse for their behavior and you both want to work on the relationship in the aftermath of the affair. Many victims have a hard time getting the conversation started with their partner. So if this is you, here are some pointers for how to begin. Step 1. Get the who, what, where, when, and how of the affair. Whether your partner disclosed the affair to you or you discovered it on your own, betrayed partners almost always begin with only a small snippet of information about what the affair actually involved. Therefore, it's important that you get the facts of what's happened. Here are some basic questions that may be helpful to you to get your partner to answer in the beginning. With whom did they have the affair? How many partners were there? How long did the affair last? How many encounters were there? What did the affair entail? For instance, was it online sex or in person? Was it an emotional affair, a physical affair, or both? If it was a physical affair, how far did it go? Was it kissing in the backseat of a car, or did it involve sexual intercourse? If it involved sexual intercourse, was protection used? Has the affair completely ended? The fact is that in order for you and your partner to heal, the truth about the affair must come out. As the victim, part of your recovery is going to be getting a clear understanding of what actually transpired. Relationships cannot be rebuilt on lies. You don't have to ask about every gory detail right away, but having a broad understanding of the scope of what your partner did can be useful in the beginning of the recovery process. You'll notice that one of the questions I suggested that you ask up front has to do with the question of if there was sexual intercourse, was protection used? This is an issue that many couples overlook at the beginning of the affair recovery process, but it has major implications for your health and well-being and even that of your children. So don't overlook this question. And even if your partner says that they did use protection when they had sexual intercourse, you should still get tested for STDs, and so should your partner. Now, what about getting more specific details than just the general who, what, where, when, and how? Mental health professionals disagree about whether it's in the best interest of the victim for them to be able to ask any question they want of the offender about their infidelity. Some professionals argue that detailed questions about what kind of sexual positions the offender engaged in with the affair partner, for example, can leave irrevocable scars in the mind of the victim. These professionals argue that this type of detail can further traumatize the victim and be hard for them to forget. Detailed information can impact the ability of the couple to be intimate in the future if they end up staying together. On the other hand, other schools of thought say that it's empowering for the victim to be able to ask any question at all, even if it causes them further traumatic stress to find out the answer. As I discussed earlier, the rationale for this is that the victim has been robbed of their power by the offender's betrayal. The victim should therefore be granted all of the power to know anything they want to know, even if it's damaging to them. My clinical position is that the empowerment that can arise from being in control of the process of recovery and insisting on full transparency from the offender is more important than whatever damage it may cause the victim to find out the gory details of the affair. Finding out what your partner did can cause further trauma, but if there are particular details you feel you need to know, how will you be able to sleep at night without getting those details? These are questions you may have to confront eventually, perhaps with the care and support of a couples therapist and when the time is right for you. The important thing is that you, the betrayed partner, is in control of the process and able to assert what you need to know and get the answers. There is no way to build a real relationship unless it's based on honesty. After all, the whole reason the affair happened in the first place was because the offender was hiding parts of themselves from their partner. This absolutely needs to stop if the couple is going to have any chance of recovering. Now let's talk about step 2, asking your partner the deeper questions. At a further point along the recovery journey, the victim needs to start asking their unfaithful partner the deeper questions. This can include questions like any of the following. What did you tell yourself that allowed you to have an affair? What did you tell the other woman or man about your relationship with me? Did you ever think about me? What did you see in the other person? How were you different with your affair partner than you are with me? These deeper questions are critical. In order to answer them, the offender needs to be able to reflect on their own behavior and develop a deeper level of self-awareness. These questions can open the door for real growth to occur for the offender, the victim, and for the couple's relationship. Now let's hear from you. Have you been the victim of an affair? If so, are you attempting to rebuild your relationship with your partner? If you are, how could the process of asking the questions we talked about today help you in creating a relationship based on honesty and rebuilding trust? Leave me your comments below. I look forward to reading them and seeing you in the next video. And if you benefited from the information you learned today in this video, please give it a like and share it. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button right here. And you can also go to thepowercoupleformula.com for lots more information about how to build an amazing relationship, and powercoupleseducation.com to stay connected.